Hey, it's Friday, August 15th, 2025, and it's your good friend, it's your pal, it's your compadre. It's TC, everybody. How you doing? What's going on the big show today? We are Rock This Town Live, and we are here every Monday through Friday. Every Monday through Friday, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific, talking about the world of music, specifically stuff that leans rock and heavy music, as Ozzy would say. So we do this, 5 times a week. And here we are on a Friday night. So thanks for hanging out with us if you're joining us live. And if you're listening to the show on a podcast, very nice. Or if you're rewatching on YouTube, that's pretty sexy as well. What's going on the show today? Well, I'm going to, my vinyl of the day is this bad boy. You can probably figure it out based off the track list. But it is an album that is 30 years old today, and this is the pressing that's on gold vinyl, and we'll talk about the vinyl of the day here in just two shakes of a lamb's tail. And then also, we'll be reliving the past, talking a little Twisted Sister as well, Slipknot, Five Finger Death Punch, bands that I've never really kind of gotten into in some ways, but still, they're in the news, so I figure, why not, man? And then, the big thing here, I got my 10 best 1995 albums, and I'm starting to get worried. I'm just a little worried about my fearless prediction that I've been making all year about the Alice in Chains Tripod record. I'm starting to get a little nervous, but I still think I'm going to be okay. And then the Osmosis record, which I've made a prediction on that being released this year as well. So celebrating 30 years this year, we'll do that. Definitely. I actually had Vault on my list. I gave away my vinyl of the day. But anyways, I actually had Vault on my list, but I took it off my list. So there you go. All right, I always like to start by reliving the past, and I thought this was kind of an interesting thing. Monster Magnet. You remember Monster Magnet? Of course, they had Power Trip is a great song, and then what else? Space Lord, Mother. Right? Exactly. So this is from 30 years ago. Yeah, that's right. 30 years ago. This is a handbill from a club called The Edge in, I believe this is Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Fort Lauderdale. Palm Beach. Yeah, Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale. One and the same kind of. Friday, October 6th. So we're coming up on the 30-year anniversary of this. Monster Magnet headlining with special guest Caius, which was Josh Homme's band before Queens of the Stone Age. And before he kind of started doing that some side project stuff and hanging out with Dave Grohl. So very nice. And then Sugar Ray, when Sugar Ray was kind of alt metal. I don't know if you know this, but their first record, what was it? Brownies and Lemonade, I think, like that. Very provocative cover. And the band was really alt metal and alt rock, but more metal. Before they became every day, it's just a blah, 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 blah. Anyways, you get the idea. I'm going to hum the song. How about I hum it? No, I'm not going to hum it. So anyways, but how about that? $7 in advance to go see Monster Magnet. Yes, please. Caius. Yes, please. And then Sugar Ray before they were kind of, I Just Want to Get High band, when they were kind of like pound, 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 pound. So anyways, wow, crazy. And that was 30 years ago. For $7, my God, that's a deal and a half. Even back then, 30 years ago, most people are probably paying probably about $20 a ticket. So $7 a ticket, I don't know, not too shabby in my humble opinion. So there you go. I don't know. I've never seen Monster Magnet, never seen Caius or Queens of the Stone Age. And then I've never seen Sugar Ray, though Jen has seen Sugar Ray. I know she saw Sugar Ray open for the Goo Goo Dolls or something like that. I think some band like that. So anyways, all right. Beat for Beat hanging out with us tonight. Good to see you. Also Jen hanging out with us as well. Very nice. Very, very, very nice. So there you go. Beat for Beat. I'm actually going to talk about Twisted Sister next. And Beat for Beat says that he saw, what is this? Twisted Sister on their 1984 Stay Hungry tour at Joe Louis Arena opening for Iron Maiden. Nice. Real nice. Speaking of that, so Twisted Sister in the news a little bit. So D has been making the rounds, and apparently he's been teasing a possible reunion for the quote-unquote 50th anniversary of Twisted Sister. Now, of course, he's referring to the year that in basically 1976 when Eddie Ojeda and JJ French got together and joined forces. He says, yeah, seems like a good time to do something. So I'm like, yeah, okay. Twisted Sister, the Stay Hungry record was pretty sexy, and they had, Twisted Sister, I was thinking about this. Their last official studio album was 87. So they had kind of, they burned brightly, especially during the Stay Hungry days, and then kind of left a good looking corpse, I guess you could say, when it comes to music. But they've kind of popped up here and there. And obviously AJ Pirro, the drummer, is no longer with us. And when they did a tour, what was that, 10 years ago in 2016, I think? Mike Portnoy of Dream Theater sat in on drums. So that's not too shabby, actually. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of a Twisted Sister potential reunion. I think with probably the original four guys, obviously minus AJ. Obviously, we also have Mike Portnoy busy with Dream Theater, so not sure who would play the Skins there. Maybe Josh Freed, who's now in 9 Inch Nails, but probably not because 9 Inch Nails is on tour. All right, what else is going on as far as news? It's kind of a light news day, so I just figured I'd mention this. Slipknot reportedly nearing a $120 million deal for their music. So Corey Taylor going to make some bank, Corey Taylor and Company, for their royalties and publishing. So I got nothing more to say about that, really. I just thought it's a nice big number, and $120 million, though, you're going to have to split that a number of ways potentially. So, but still a good payday for a band like Slipknot, who has been around for 30 years now, I think, something like that. Yeah, at least 30 years for Slipknot. So there you go. And then Five Finger Death Punch. Lead singer Zoltan Bathory. I'm gonna try to pronounce that. I'm not sure if I have. I remember when we did the live show, we sold a hell of a lot of Five Finger Death Punch. And I think they're from Vegas, and he has a castle in Vegas. Yes, he bought a castle for $3 million. He upgraded it. It's got a pool. It's got a saltwater pool, actually. And it's got a 4-car garage, which is kind of a smaller kind of garage, but it's 8 miles from the Strip in Vegas. If you want to pick it up for yourself, baby, $28 million. I'm sure he could come down on that. Maybe 22, 23. Depends on what the market looks like, I suppose. If you're looking at a 30-year mortgage on this bad boy, you're looking at paying a lot. You're going to get killed by the banks on the interest on this one. So you're going to have to come in probably with all cash if you want to make this worth your time. But it's a 3-story castle, and it's 12,000 square feet. And it's also connected to Lake Sahara. There's a man-made lake there, and it's got a double dock. So you can go out of the lake, you can use the saltwater pool, or you can just hang out in the castle all day. What's ironic is the saltwater pool is kind of elongated, so it runs the length of the home. So it kind of looks like a moat. So not too shabby there. I don't think it has 9 bathrooms, but probably close. I think it was only 4 bedroom or something when I was looking it up. That can't be right. Maybe it's 5 or 6 bedroom, and yeah, I guess it's probably about 9 bathrooms in the end. So Neverland Ranch. Oh, don't say that. Oh, Zoltan gonna come get both of us there beat after beat if you call it Neverland Ranch. That's you don't want to say that these days. So there you go. All right, let's get to my top 5 from 95. Actually, I couldn't decide, so I went top 10 from 95. There's a lot of records on here. In the end, I would say the top 5 are definitely the top 5. Bon Jovi these days. Okay, so actually, let me tell you who was in the running. So a couple of records that were in the running was Def Leppard Vault that came out in 95. Firehouse third record called 3 came out in 95. That was in the running. Ultraphobic by Warrant did not make the list, but it was also in the running. And then Fear No Evil from Slaughter was in the running, but it did not make the list. And Jen's going to be very disappointed in me for not including Warrant or Slaughter on the list. And I was thinking about this as well before I get to the kind of reviewing the top 10. Which of these albums has gotten a release. Obviously, Balance, which is not a surprise, perhaps, if you know me, because I love Van Halen, is number one on my list. Balance was re-released on vinyl today for the 30th anniversary. Very nice. Now, Warrant, Ultraphobic, released on vinyl this year for the 30th anniversary. Fear No Evil from Slaughter came out a couple of years ago. Kind of maybe as an anniversary edition, but that is available on vinyl. And then let me see, anything else that I'm forgetting there? No. So now let's run on the top 10. So these days, that's been perpetually available, overpriced because it's a Universal Music record. But unfortunately, it is overpriced. Okay. I don't know why I put this record on there. I probably should have put Fear No Evil or something. It's when Bon Jovi kind of took that left turn into no man's land. It's just, this isn't the Bon Jovi I know and love. The Bon Jovi I know and love is self-titled 7800, Slippery, New Jersey, and Keep the Faith. That is when Bon Jovi had it going on, girl, and they were on fire. This record, not great. I put at number 9, this actually just got reissued as well. Maybe, I guess it was late last year. I think it was late last year. Maybe it was early this year. I forget. Anyways, Above by Mad Season. So once again, a lot of these records from 95 getting re-releases, and you're going to see a couple here that are big ones that I've been talking about on this list. Monster Magnet, Dopes to Infinity has not been reissued, unfortunately. I think it was Jimmy Lewis that picked that up on the live show. We once had a copy of that, and we also had a copy of the Space Lord record. And the Dopes to Infinity actually was more popular, which kind of surprised me a little bit, but still. There you go. At number 7, Alice in Chains. Now we're coming up on the 30th anniversary. We're getting close if they want to release it on the 30th anniversary, which I believe is a Friday this year. I think it's like September 23rd or 24th, something like that. Now they could announce it that day because they've done that in the past. With the last with the last Alice in Chains record, they announced the reissue on the day of the release. So I can see that happening again this year. But if we're going to get it in September, it kind of needs to be announced next week. So I'm still confident. My confidence has waned a little bit about a reissue, but I'm still pretty confident we're going to get that. And then we're going to get it unplugged next year as well. So there you go. Subhuman Race at number 6 by Skid Row. I know we had that in the store a long time, and it kind of sat, much to my chagrin. But then our boy Tom, one of our local King of Record Store Day, we called him. Shout out to Tom. I think Tom picked that bad boy up, if memory serves. It was kind of one of his first records he got in the store. But yeah, anyway, so there you go. I love this record by Natalie Merchant. I think Jen and I have a copy, or we maybe send it into the store. It's only available as a mobile fidelity pressing, and maybe once a year they repress this record. So it'll come out for like $50, $60, whatever. And then over the course of a year, it'll go up to like $120 or something if you want to get it on the secondary market. And then they'll repress it again. And then it'll go back up again. So, but it's a great record and definitely deserves to be in the top 5, in my humble opinion. I love her voice. Her voice is fantabulous. All right, here's another record that I believe is going to get repressed this year because it is the 30th anniversary of Osmosis from Ozzy Osbourne. Zach Sabbath. I keep calling him Zach Sabbath. Zach Wilde on guitar. I think that might have been when Mike Inez. No, when was Mike Inez on that record? I'm trying to remember. Let me do a quick check here. Osmosis, because obviously Mike Inez is in Alice in Chains. So let me see. Let's see who played on that production personnel. Oh, Geezer Butler. Nice. Played bass on Osmosis. And then Dean Castronovo, who's been in Journey. I think he's back in Journey at this point. Sometimes sings, sometimes doesn't. When Arnell, the songs that some of the harder songs to sing, Dean takes over on. So there you go. And then Rick Wakeman actually plays on the record as well. So there you go. A legend from, I believe, Yes, right? Rick Wakeman from Yes. I believe that's correct. Yes, that is correct. No pun intended on that one. So Great album. I think we're going to get a 30th anniversary reissue of this bad boy. It originally came out, when was that? October 23rd. So there's still plenty of time for them to announce that. Obviously, we got Scream earlier this year, which was, I think, the 15th anniversary of that one. So a good time to reissue Osmosis. And obviously, with Ozzy gone, there you go. At number 3, I got Pink Floyd Pulse. I know it's not like a studio record, but it's so good. I do prefer Delicate Sound of Thunder, 100%. Delicate Sound of Thunder greater than Pulse. But our friend Eric, who is a local favorite, who loves himself Cher, right? And it's his birthday today, Jen told me. So happy birthday, Eric, if you're watching. But that is one of his grails when he would come into the store, and we finally got a copy in for him, and he ended up picking that bad boy up. So I had to put Pulse because I love live Pink Floyd. It's so good. You know, Richard Wright, Nick Mason, and David Gilmour are just fantastic live. So there you go. The Pumpkins at number 2, Melancholy. I love Zero. I love 1979. Those are 2 of my favorite songs of all time. So I had to put that at number 2. And I know a lot of people will crap on the Van Halen Balance record. I don't know why. It's a great record in my humble opinion. It's very much an angry record. It is so damn good. Eddie and Al playing with that power, and Sammy singing angry lyrics and stuff. It is fantastic, I think. I remember burning the hell out of this CD when it came out in 1995. So I've got that as my number 1 record of 1995. So did I miss anything? And do you have any thoughts on what should have been on the list, right? Exactly. Beat After Beat says, I'll take Van Halen, Ozzy, and Alice out of that list. So I'm guessing you mean that's the good stuff, not you're like removing them because it's bad, but you're taking those 3 because that's good. So there you go. Beat After Beat says also that Skid was the worst record, but I don't know. I wouldn't say that. I think it's very heavy. It's even heavier than Slave to the Grind. I was listening to Slave to the Grind earlier today. It was a really good record. So there you go. So that is the list there. That's my opinion. I don't know. Take it for what it's worth. If you got an opinion, you can obviously comment in the chat live, or you can leave a comment after the fact. And if you're listening on the podcast, you can just yell at me like, oh my God, I can't believe you forgot about Astro Creep by White Zombie. I know. I should have probably put that on there, but I did not. So unfortunately, James hanging out with us agrees with Balance. Very nice. The orange vinyl is basically sold out at all the distributors. So if you're looking for a copy of the indie exclusive Balance that came out today, very nice. There was actually an older Kenny Chesney record that got released on vinyl for the first time ever today as well. Short Bus by Filter, celebrating its 30th anniversary, got an anniversary pressing, I believe, from our friends at Craft Recordings, and I think that was on gold vinyl. So those were kind of some of the highlights of the records that got reissued today. Some new vinyl that is being repressed. Now this thing is so expensive. I remember we got a pressing of this last year from Real Gone Music. This comes out October 19th. It's $65. It is The Corpse Bride. Very cool. It's on Blue Moon with purple and black ghost splatter vinyl. It's Tim Burton's Corpse Bride. Now, I have learned to love The Nightmare Before Christmas. What's this? I've never seen The Corpse Bride. I'm guessing my niece, who's 25, would be like, oh my God, you're missing a great, great movie. More Danny Elfman, more Tim Burton. So it's kind of like, is it almost like in some ways like a sequel to Nightmare Before Christmas, but kind of like they're kind of in the same world, but not really a sequel? I don't know. But anyways, very cool. Danny Elfman, yeah, is fantastic. That Oingo Boingo record, which is the one that I love. Damn it, I can't think of the Oingo Boingo record. I remember listening to that in the store one day, and it was just like, oh, Dead Man's Party. Wow, that record is so damn good. All right, also coming out from Real Gone. It's like a cornucopia stuff being reissued from Real Gone Music, I think it is. Return of the Living Dead. Green with Black Toxic Waste vinyl, October 10th. That's going to set you back about $36. I love this movie. This came out in 1985. It is the 40th anniversary of this movie. It is complete cheese, but it is so awesome. You mean the movie lied? I am going to actually go out right now and find movie quotes from Return of the Living Dead. There it is right there. It comes up third after Return of the King and Return of the Jedi. So that's the company it's in. In fact, in some ways, it may be better than both those movies. So I said that out loud. I cannot believe I said that out loud. All right. Zombie saying, send more paramedics. So good. What else? I'm looking for one-liners here. I like death. I like death with sex. How about you, Casey? You like sex with death? And yeah, Casey says some foul language there. So, but Brains, of course, it goes without saying. If you've never seen the movie, you got to see it. Return of the Living Dead. It is a classic. I don't prefer any of the other Return or the Living Dead movies, even the original, but this one is so good. It is so awesome. Send More Cops, Brains, Live Brains. I'm not finding. Anyways, this is kind of death. So you get the idea. It's a fantastic movie. James concurs indubitably. Brains. You mean the movie lied? Exactly. It did not lie. It told the truth. Cold is getting a reissue, once again from Real Gone Music. Year of the Spider remastered. Nice. Red with white spider web swirl vinyl. That's kind of cool. That comes out October 10th for 37 beans if you're into Cold. I know of Cold. I don't really... I couldn't name a song by Cold, though I know some people like them quite a bit, actually. I respect that. It's just a band that I've never really listened to. And if you have a recommendation like TC, you should be listening to Cold. And here is a Gateway song. I'm always interested in a Gateway song. And then if I dig the Gateway song, then I'll probably look for the Gateway album. So there you go. Cool. And then also finally, MSG. Michael Schenker is putting out Don't Sell Your Soul on red vinyl, coming out October 24th, priced at $30. You know, I never really paid much attention to Michael Schenker other than, I guess it was like the Macaulay Schenker group. That was actually kind of cool. They had some good songs in the 80s. But other than that, I didn't know that much about Michael Schenker other than that he, started the Scorpions with his brother Rudolph. And that ended up leaving. He started UFO, which ended up having a pretty good run, but never were that popular here in the United States. And then I listened to My Years with UFO, which came out, I think, last year. Axl Rose does a version. Axl Rose apparently did 3 songs on that record, but he only allowed Schenker to use one of his vocals. So in the end, only one song has Axl Rose on this My Years with UFO. That's what the record's called. So good. It's Love to Love. My God, that song is amazing. It's like one of those songs I found. So that's my gateway into UFO, but I really haven't listened to any other UFO. I know Lights Out London and stuff, but what are you going to do? So there you go. All right. Just a reminder, we're live on YouTube. Boom. There's Jerry the Parakeet. No, it's not a parakeet. I always call him a parakeet. He is the parrot. He repeats back what I say. He's like redundant. He says things over and over again. He repeats himself. So yes, that joke never gets old to me. Jackyl. Now here's a band that I think Jen has seen. Confirm for me in the chat, Jen, that you've seen this. But Jackyl out on the road. And yes, Jesse James Dupree still uses a real chainsaw. I'm frightened. And he basically takes the chainsaw on a stool, a wooden stool. Anyways, they're out on the road starting I guess that's next weekend in Buda, Texas. Nice. Buck's backyard. Well, he can play TC's backyard too. Bring the guys over, Jesse. Fort Worth, Chickasaw, Oklahoma. Nice. Lincoln, Nebraska. Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Des Moines. Very nice. Did you know that Fuddruckers is basically going out of business? Remember the hamburger place, Fuddruckers? Did you ever eat there? I just thought their hamburgers were pretty good. They always had nice buns. You could get like a quarter pounder, third pounder, half pounder, 2/3 pounder. The chili cheese fries were good. I guess old people just ate there because, and they had ice cream there, and then they had like the condiment bar, which nobody really needed, I don't think. I think that's maybe what did that place in, was the condiment bar. We could get the lettuce and the tomatoes and the onions and the jalapenos and everything else like that. I don't think we needed that. They should have just gotten rid of that. But that place is going kind of out of business. There's hardly any of those left, though I know there's some left in Texas. I think the last one that was up in Arizona in Mesa has now officially closed. I know Terry, one of our friends in Iowa, has said the one in West Des Moines is closed, and Jen and I stopped at that numerous times. I don't think there's any in Minnesota anymore either, or Colorado. So it's hard times for Fuddruckers these days. So you never heard of Fuddruckers beat after beat? Oh, I can't believe that. That's crazy. The chicken dinner was actually pretty good. Thanks for asking. So we had Raising Cane's. It was fine. Sandy didn't get any coleslaw. She was very upset about that. She called the 1-800 number and she said, "I demand my coleslaw." No, she didn't. But and then we played some games last night. We played Hughes and Q's. We played iTunes, which is actually a game, and then we played, and then I jumped out after that, and then Audrey, Sandy, Jen, and Casey all played a French trivia game. We had a great time, and then Casey and Audrey brought chocolate chip cookies, homemade, nice. Sandy brought homemade brownies. So good. So there you go. And Jen had homemade banana bread. So we had that going for us. So it was pretty sweet. Anyway, so there you go. So Jackyl out on the road this fall. They're a cool band, man. That first Jackyl record, that thing cooks, man. That is an all-timer in my humble opinion. Live also out on the road with Collective Soul. Now we're down to the last column. So we're on the third column now. So they're going to be in Texas, Colorado, also in, where is that? South Carolina, Pennsylvania. They're on the road with So, and Our Lady Peace is actually out there as well. So that's pretty good triple bill if you can get all three bands at the same time. So Collective Soul and Live. We always sold the hell out of live records. Live records always sold on the live show and in the store. Collective Soul to a point, very much so. Maybe like Jackyl, I'd put them on the same level as Jackyl. We moved a lot of Jackyl records. We moved a lot of Collective Soul records. And then Our Lady Peace, maybe not so much, but I dig Our Lady Peace. I think they're a really good band, Canadian band. I think they get I think all these Canadian bands kind of get a mystique a little bit of being Canadian. It's like a negative. I don't think it's a negative. It's just they're Canadian. What are you going to do? There's a lot of A in the lyrics, right? Beat after beat knows because he's very close to Canada these days. Well, has been. Rocklahoma coming up in a couple weekends during, what is this, Labor Day weekend. Is that 2 weeks away only? Yeah, Labor Day weekend is only 2 weeks away. Holy crap. Wow. Anyways, Five Finger Death Punch going to be there. Zoltan, you can talk to him about buying the house. Marilyn Manson's going to be there. That's super cool. Do You Believe in a Thing Called Love? Because the Darkness will be there if you're headed down to Oklahoma. Saturday, Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace. Sunday, Shinedown and 311 are the headliners. So, and then there's a concert on Thursday night. Sebastian Bach, Lita Ford, and Trickster. All right. Very nice. Very, very nice. You got it, baby. You got it. Woo! All right, cool. And then finally, since we mentioned Michael Schenker, there's My Years with UFO. He's got his tour starting up again in the U.S. Well, not starting up again, but doing a tour of the U.S. A bunch of these dates are already sold out. Is there a Phoenix date? There is a Tempe date. So there is Tempe, just a little suburb of Phoenix at the Marquee. He is playing also with Armored Saint is out with him. That's crazy. So there you go. Michael Schenker doing a headline tour, doing a bunch of UFO stuff, doing his MSG stuff, and then maybe even a little early Scorpions if you get lucky, I suppose. But early Scorpions may not be your cup of tea. You know, Blackout, when that album hit, boom. Come on, man. That's when the Scorpions were in their prime, baby. Klaus Meine, Matthias Jabs, Rudolf Schenker, Hermann Z. German, Rebel, and of course, my favorite, Francis Buchwald. That's right. So there you go. Very cool. All right. Let's go to the chat, see what's going on. Kind of a quiet night tonight, but it is a Friday night. Everybody's out getting partying, they just got paid. They're trying to get laid, all that kind of good stuff. It's a lot of rhyming going on as well. So it is what it is. So, okay, maybe not. So anyways, all right. Of course, if you're digging the show, I'd appreciate a like. Smash the like button, baby. Whether you're watching live now or whether you're watching, next Thursday at 3 p.m., sitting in Yakima having some fun, right? Cool. Hope Estes made it back from he was going to see Buck Cherry and somebody else, and we haven't heard from Estes, so hopefully he made it back home. Speaking of Walla Walla, Washington, right? Exactly. So, and then, and if you haven't subscribed to the show on YouTube, do that. And of course, if you're listening to the podcast, boom, I appreciate it, and that is sexy. So my vinyl of the day is this bad boy. Jen and I picked this up in 2018. It is Vault by Def Leppard. I think this is their first mistake that they made. Of course, every band makes mistakes. And I only say that because look at AC/DC. Never put out a greatest hits record. Metallica never put out a greatest hits record. System of a Down never put out a greatest hits record. Pink Floyd never put out a greatest hits record. And what do all those bands have in common? Their catalog records sell like hell. They're all legendary bands, but so is Def Leppard. Now, Def Leppard have put out several greatest hits packages. I think it's just to kind of like fulfill a contract at this point. I got the feeling that at this point, Universal Music, which would have been Mercury Polygram at the time, or maybe it was bought, and I forget who owned it at that point. But it was like, well, let's just put out a greatest hits record. We'll put one new song on it. It fulfills our contract of like a 6-album deal or a 7-album deal. And it was just an easy way to get kind of through a contract. I think that's the way a lot of bands saw it. But I think in the end, probably wasn't a good idea. But this is a really cool copy of Vault by Def Leppard. It's on gold vinyl, as you see there. It is from 2018. It was pressed once in Europe in 1995. Those are really hard copies to find, but this is actually kind of the preferred copy because it is on gold vinyl. And it was just, pressed once 7 years ago and hasn't been pressed again. I don't know if it will be. I know they pressed The Story So Far as kind of the greatest hits, but Vault is definitely the superior version of that. The new song that was on here was When Love and Hate Collide, which had kind of a little bit of success at Top 40 radio, maybe not so much at rock radio, but it's still a good song. So there you go. Very nice. All right, cool. Jerry was a great race car driver. Just ask Les Claypool, right? Exactly, beat after beat. And Jerry's a great name. So there you go. All right. That's it. We're through another week. What is this? Our third week? I think this is our third week. So we're going to keep going. I'll be back here on Monday. And Les Claypool. That guy can slap at a bass. He's a regular Geddy Lee. He's a regular Geezer Butler. He's a regular John Taylor of Duran Duran. Very nice. So, it was super fun to have Casey, Sandy, and Audrey hanging out. Unfortunately, Amanda couldn't make it because she was going to see a show. It was probably, who would I tease her about that? She kind of liked a lot of stuff. Is there anything that I could tease Amanda about that she went and saw that she would never go see that band? Maybe, I don't know. I really don't know. I know what she loved, but I don't know what she hated. So I guess that's probably good. If you know what people love, and that's much better than knowing what people hate, right? Because you don't want to be around people that are like, oh, I hate this and I hate that. I hate Chewbacca. Who hates Chewbacca? Nobody hates Chewbacca. Well, apparently this guy I met one day, he hated Chewbacca. And then he was also talking about how he couldn't stand Dr. Pepper. I'm like, what? Dr. Pepper's pretty good. I've tried a little bit. Audrey loved Dr. Pepper. Amanda loved Dr. Pepper. And then finally, the last thing was, he's like, I hate clowns. I'm like, what? Who the hell hates clowns? Guy was the weirdest guy ever. And he stunk a BO too, just to pile on a little bit. So there's that.